I'm Stacy Spivey here with Lauren Coleman and Eric Chilton out in the cold weather garden. Freezing, I guess. Yes.
Welcome to all of you watching at home on the WFNY News 2 app, Fire Stick, Roku, or on our Facebook page. As you know, there's so many ways to watch us.
Yeah, but we want to get to our big news this afternoon. An announcement regarding expansion at PTI Airport in Greensboro is expected to happen next Wednesday. That's according to a source close to the project. The expansion is expected to bring in more than 1,700 jobs.
It's called Project Thunderbird. Last month, Guilford County commissioners approved a $2 million economic incentive grant to the airport for infrastructure costs associated with economic development. It's in addition to $100 million approved by state lawmakers earlier this month, which are part of an effort to bring an unnamed airplane manufacturer to PTI. According to the bill providing the grant, the company would employ about 1,750 people. The average pay would be about $60,000 a year.
All right, we have lots to talk about, don't we, as we look for these snow showers to develop. A little misleading on the radar because some of this not making it to the ground, we call that virga, but it's basically precipitating in the layers above us, but the air is so dry, a lot of it just evaporates before it reaches the ground. But that will not be the case as we head into the next few hours. In fact, there's a possibility within an hour or less we'll see more of this. You can see on the radar here, it's a lot of moisture now. We're right on the edge of that, aren't we? It's just sort of bisecting the viewing area from southwest to northeast, and that'll be the case. So you look at futurecast here as we head into the night. I mean, you're looking at snow showers across the area, but the key here is that since we're on the edge, you really have to go down to maybe southeastern Randolph County and southern Alamance to when you can get up to maybe an inch or 2 inches. We really think the back edge of this is more like a trace to an inch. So a lot of you will see that. Now, if you're in the mountain and foothill communities, you may see next to nothing with this. But the majority of it is really down east toward Raleigh. Now, we are so cold with these temperatures in the 20s for the most part that whatever falls is going to stick around a little bit. So I think your Saturday morning or even late night tonight, I wouldn't be out late tonight, even though it may only be an inch or so of precipitation in some areas and maybe 2 inches to the east, it is still a driving issue for overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. And then we should be done with this. But we'll talk about that. Look at snow totals on a graphic in just a minute. Again, not that impressive, but down east, a different story. We'll have all that coming up.
A 6-year-old boy injured in a wrong-way crash on I-40 in Guilford County is home from the hospital. Jacqueline Frost, her son, her husband, and her mother-in-law were all in that first car that was hit head-on. Frost says her husband and mother-in-law are still in the hospital with serious injuries.
I just ask everybody right now just to, have prayers for my son's family and his father and his grandmother and every other family that's involved. I hate this for everyone.
The crash involved a total of 7 cars and shut down westbound lanes of I-40 for about 5 hours. Troopers said the wrong-way driver, 69-year-old Pearlie Mae Williams, died instantly. They don't know why she ended up going the wrong way on the highway near Whitsett. Investigators said just 20 minutes before the crash, her husband reported her missing. Troopers are investigating whether the wrong-way driver had a cognitive impairment. They're waiting on a toxicology report from her autopsy.
A driver coming straight at you in the wrong direction on the highway, that's a terrifying situation. So 2 wants to know what you should do if you ever come across a wrong-way driver. Greensboro police officer A.D. Reed says if you encounter a wrong-way driver, try to pull over to the shoulder. Try flashing from low beam to high beam to alert the wrong-way driver, and try honking the horn. You'll also want to call 911 when you're able to.
But try to give us a location. Just saying you're on, I-85, that's a long road, or I-40. We don't know exactly where you are on that road. So if you can try to get us a mile marker, give us a description of the car, anything that can possibly help us.
Officer Reed works in the crash reconstruction unit. In 11 years, he says his unit has worked several fatal or serious injury crashes caused by wrong-way drivers. He says his office receives calls daily about motorists driving in the wrong direction.
We do see that happen quite often. Unfortunately, by the time we get out there, if there's not been a wreck or anything else, we may not find that person going the wrong way. Once we get out there, sometimes if somebody just made an improper turn and started going the wrong way on a one-way street downtown.
According to AAA, NCDOT reported 164 deaths from 2000 to 2017 due to wrong-way drivers. Officer Reed says in many cases, impairment is a contributing factor to someone driving the wrong way.
You also need to make sure you are safe while you are stuck in traffic. There are several things that you can put in your car now to help, like an extra coat and blanket. You also want water and a snack or two, something that lasts for a while. If you have flares, great. You should also have a flashlight, an extra charger for your phone, and a first aid kit.
The other big story we are following today, our COVID numbers are showing no signs of slowing. The state says it learned of more than 35,000 new cases in the past 24 hours. It's about 300 cases shy of the record high that we set just last week. Our numbers have been all over the board lately, but they're certainly much higher than the numbers we were seeing in November and December. Consider this, back on November 28th, the week of Thanksgiving, the state reported just 1,000 cases. Even as our numbers started to creep up in December, the highest daily number was around 7,000. Today's number is 5 times higher than that.
The COVID testing site at the Piedmont Hall in Greensboro has been able to get people in and out in just a matter of minutes, something you don't really see with such a high demand of testing, but things are changing. WFMY News 2's Avery Powell joins us now live to explain.
The Piedmont Hall testing site here closes tonight at 7 o'clock. It's also the last day that Mako Medical will operate testing here. Starting tomorrow, True North, a healthcare technology company based out of Fort Worth, Texas, will start doing the testing. And there are going to be a few changes. The first is that there will be timed appointments. You can make those online. Walk-ins are allowed, but you still need to register and have an online account. You will need your username and password to get your results. The other big change is you will be doing the test on yourself, supervised by an True North staff member. The site is a partnership between Mako Medical, Cone Health, Greensboro, and the Guilford County Department of Public Health to help increase testing access. They've done somewhere between 15,000 to 20,000 tests over the past 2 weeks.
We're still seeing demand across the country. We're currently collecting samples from 43 different states across the U.S. With various types of contracts within each state. North Carolina in particular, considering this is where we were founded and headquartered, demand is still very high.
True North says the results should come back in 48 to 72 hours. The site will open at 11 a.m. tomorrow and runs until February 11th. We have a link to how to register and all of the hours for the site over on WFMYnews2.com.
Thank you, Avery. 2 Guilford County schools' COVID testing sites will reopen next Monday. They were all closed all week because of the weather. The testing sites are open to everyone, not just students and employees. And make sure to order your free at-home COVID test now, not when you get sick. The Postal Service will send 4 tests to everyone who places an order, but they could take up to 2 weeks to get to you. We have more information on how you can sign up on our website.
Children under 5 may soon be eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Anthony Fauci says that could happen as soon as next month. This comes as more than 900 children a day are being admitted to hospitals with COVID-19.
Have zero protection against the virus, so do become a little bit more sick than what we saw previously.
While the youngest Americans are struggling with Omicron, older Americans are faring much better as long as they are vaccinated and boosted. New numbers from the CDC show unvaccinated Americans aged 50 to 64 are 44 times more likely to end up in the hospital than their counterparts who have the booster. And we'll be right back.
Well, in case you haven't heard, Rock 92 and 107.5 KZL are holding a unique competition. It is the Triad's Ugliest Dog Contest. I spoke with Chris Kelly from Two Guys Named Chris to find out how it all works. Well, Kelly, it's good to have you on the show, my friend. And this is funny. So you guys, how did this idea come about?
Well, we have a meeting every week where we say, what can we do? What new things can we do? And somebody was suggesting something with dogs, because I guess I was talking about how my wife loves our dog more than all the other members of the family. I really think if there was a house fire, the kids first, then the dog, and then she'd probably remember me once they got to the mailbox. And so we said, how about first it was like cutest dog contest, and then the suggestion was, well, no, ugliest dog might even be better. So it's been really successful so far. I've had a lot of interest.
And you're not looking for mildly annoying looks. You're looking for like the ugliest.
Yeah, and so far we have gotten some pretty ugly dogs, and the contest is just starting. It goes for another couple of weeks, and I'd say mission accomplished so far with people and their dogs. And they're so ugly they're cute in many cases, and then some of them, they're just ugly.
Just plain, yeah, I got you.
Right.
And so the winner gets what?
$1,000 for the winner. And then second place, we teamed up with a client of ours. It's a Beach Bub umbrella system. So if you go to the beach this summer, you get that, which is about a $200 value or more. And then $50 for third prize and a gas card. So everybody, the top three wins, and $1,000 cash for the grand prize.
Very cool. I think that the winning dog should be in studio so we can watch you through your cameras. That would be great. You guys just pass around the little dog.
Oh, me too. Except my partner, Chris Tim, is afraid of dogs. And so he will not. He's a cat person, so we can't.
I should have.
No, he likes dogs too, but he's more of a cat person. So I'm not sure. We'll have to negotiate that if he'll allow a dog.
All right. Work that into his contract, my friend. We look to see the end of all this, and make sure you follow up with us. We'll see who wins. All right, so if you want to enter your dog or just vote for the winner, we've linked you to their website in this story on WFNYnews2.com. This is funny, and the radio guys are going to have a field day with this. So they have live cameras in their studio, so you can watch the show online, see the video instead of just hearing him. And they're going to see. Maybe they get some of those dogs in studio. It'd be very funny.
I love this title, Ugliest Dog Competition, because let's be real, I don't want to offend anybody, but not all dogs are cute.
That's right,
So
but that's saying that some dogs are so ugly they're cute is true.
Right,
Absolutely.
yeah, like the one with the underbite, like I
Yes.
love it. I
Yeah.
mean, when you see a dog come up with you and he has an underbite and he's like wagging
so
his tail, you're just
cute.
like, oh my gosh, you're so cute.
Yeah, when it comes to animals, people here in the Triad, we love our pets, we love our cats, we
do.
love our dogs. I was looking at some of the pictures on the website, and some are just so cute. I'm like, I don't even know if they qualify.
I know. I did see that. I think they're gonna. So it runs for a week or two as far as you submitting your pictures, and then they'll start to pull the winners.
Now I will say there's that one breed where they have hair up top and then they're like hairless on their
Hairless,
body
yes.
and kind of spotted. Like the one from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yes,
That
that's
dog.
Right. That's right.
They're kind of ugly.
Or the ones with like the really big bulging eyes, or they're like super skinny.
Yeah.
I think there was a picture of one that looked
There
like it had
was.
like a mohawk or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll follow
still
up
love
with them
them.
and see how they end up there. We'll take a short
They're
break.
all winners in our eyes.
That's right. Snow showers to the south and east starting to build in. This is kind of a backward situation where we'll see more snow east than we do in the mountain and foothill communities. So that's kind of the setup. A lot of this back to the west, not reaching the ground yet. It's evaporating. But this band that stretches from really the Sanford area and back down toward Montgomery County, yeah, we're seeing some snow showers there already. It will kind of back build over the area as we head into the night. You see that this line is kind of southwest to northeast, right? That's the way it bisects the viewing area, if you will. And when you look at this as it progresses through the evening, that line kind of stays like that. We do have a winter weather advisory for Guilford County and points to the south and east. It goes to a warning when you get down toward Montgomery County and then on toward Raleigh. But this is kind of indicative of the pattern as we see this going into the night tonight. Again, it will probably end, as you see the timestamp there, as we head into the early morning hours, 4 a.m.-ish, that type of thing, and it moves on to the east. It's not impressive with snow totals per se. When we look at the snow potential across the Triad, kind of a few flakes if you look back to the west, and then from Greensboro and south, you're looking at maybe 1 to 2, and I think 2 is worst case scenario. You may see more of that toward Alamance County and southeastern Randolph and Montgomery. This is really a down east event, so when you get to the Raleigh area, it looks more like 2 to 4 and then pockets higher as you go farther on to the east. So not a major snow event for us, but it is something that we'll watch, and yes, whatever falls will stick around. These temperatures are no joke, as we see an overnight low tonight of 17, a high tomorrow of only 35, then a morning low of 18 on Sunday and 42. Moderate a bit back to the 40s Monday, Tuesday, with a slight cold rain chance on Tuesday. Next week, a little chilly again, 30s Thursday and 43 by Friday.
Change is something that affects all of us. Today on U Day, Coach Lamont explains not only the power of change, but the importance of not fighting its flow.
Life starts in the mind and it ends in the grave. There is one thing that will never change, and that is the fact that none of us will make it out of life alive. Life is a mind game, and for some, they have placed themselves in living graves, not accepting that they have a full life to be lived. It's time to start making conscious decisions that will keep our lives above the dirt and command the mental grave to exit. There is an appointed time when the grave will grab hold of us, unfortunately. Put an end to the living grave that is attempting to hold you captive. Like Lazarus, rise up out of the grave. You have too much work to do. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
I love that analogy of rising out of the grave or being a living grave, because I think whenever we talk about change, it starts with action. So if you want to see any type of result, you have to actually start and do something to see a change.
I think what I need to do is record all of his segments. I want to play them not at 4:20, but as soon as I wake up every day, right?
Yeah.
I told you he needs to create that app. Remember,
He does,
like,
yes.
to have a words of affirmation app or something we can listen to every morning.
Yeah, and I mean, I love how, because I'm a believer myself, how he incorporates the word in everything that he does. And so you get like not only just like his advice, but something from a bigger power as well, which I like.
Very spiritual.
Yes. Tell Me Something Good is coming up next. Stay with us.
I don't know about you, but to me, this week seemed never ending with several bouts of winter weather, COVID numbers rising, and several heartbreaking stories across the Triad. That's why it's important to reset and recharge and focus on the good. WFMY News 2's Megan Maleris makes it her mission each week to find the blessings bringing you joy.
I know you're busy multitasking right now, fixing dinner, getting ready for the weekend, but if you can take just the next couple of minutes for some reflection, it'll do your mind a world of good. I asked you on my Facebook page, Megan Maleris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently. Michelle is thankful her power stayed on during the recent winter weather. Jackie also is thankful for power during the storm. Diane said her brother-in-law had a serious back surgery Monday and came home the next day. God is good. Shirley is 82. Her husband has Alzheimer's, and she's so thankful her neighbor, whom she had never met, cleared her walkway of the snow. Richard's family recovered from COVID. Shelley is back to work after breaking her ankle and shattering her fibula. She's never taking walking for granted again. Carol has a good neighbor who flattened the piled up snow blocking her driveway. Mary got the kids to daycare safely. Sam met WFMY News 2 meteorologist Christian Morgan at a taco restaurant and said he's a nice guy. And Anne loved the snow, saying it made her feel like a kid again. At age 60, she enjoyed some sledding last weekend.
I'll second that. Christian Morgan is a nice guy.
He is.
He's one of my
nicest.
favorites.
I like
Okay.
everybody. You noticed everything was snow and storm related. Like everybody
Mm-hmm.
was thankful for that. They'll be thankful for this one too, I believe.
Yeah, mine's a snow story, something positive that happens. So usually I talk about I don't care about the snow too much because I don't like driving in it, but I spent the last several days in Asheville. That's why I wasn't on the 4 to 5 for some time. And it snowed and it was absolutely beautiful.
I bet
The
there.
mountains, it was so gorgeous, such a sight to see. So it was really nice to take all that in.
And y'all got Asheville got like 10 to 12
Yeah,
inches.
it was pretty.
or something
It was pretty thick. Me and my friends were looking out the window of our Airbnb, like, I was
We'll
like, I
stay
need to
right
be
here.
back to work on Wednesday. I
You
was
gotta-
like,
you gotta
we have
make it
to leave
work.
by Tuesday.
They
So
can
we-
handle
we-
snow up there.
We made it work though.
Yeah, I'm just thankful we didn't lose power like that one viewer said. It was nice to be able to enjoy the snow and be warm at the same
I
time.
will second that myself as we head to break.
Well, We're on top of breaking news from Guilford County Schools. The district says students from 8 high schools will continue using city buses. The schools impacted include Andrews, High Point Central, Kearns Academy, Dudley, Grimsley, Page, Smith, and the Academy at Smith. GCS says they're missing about a third of all school bus drivers. Students can still show their student IDs to get free transit from Greensboro and High Point buses.
Well, welcome back to the 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Stacy Spivey and Eric Chilton, our trio. We're all together today.
We're back together again. Thank you guys for watching. You're back with us again right here on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app for your TV, phone, or tablet. Of course, all week our big story has been the weather. And are we expecting even more snow tonight?
Yeah, you know, it really depends on where you live. When we talk about this go around, it's kind of a different scenario. This is really more of an eastern North Carolina snow situation than it is for us. I imagine folks in Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and points to the east, they're kind of getting geared up for maybe a 2 to 4, maybe even more as far as snow totals are concerned. Not the case for us. Some of this back in our western Piedmont viewing area not reaching the ground yet, but this around Montgomery County and stretching up through Carthage and Moore County and into Sanford and Lee County, that's actually reaching the ground right now. That is a snow band that is happening. Across the area, yeah, there's moisture, but that southwest to northeast line, that's really what you have to keep in your mind here. If you look at our the futurecast, high resolution futurecast, see that configuration there where it looks like the western Piedmont doesn't see much of anything, but from Greensboro, and if you drew a line kind of a diagonal down like this, southern parts of the Piedmont with a better chance, then this may be a situation where Greensboro gets a whole lot more than, say, Mount Airy would get, or Wilkesboro. So very upside down for us. As far as this lasting, yes, it will go into the night with some snow showers. I think we'll see snow start to overspread within the next hour or so, at least in the eastern and southeastern parts of the viewing area. Then it's all out of here. You're looking at Saturday morning, so technically overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, 4 a.m.-ish, and we're done with that. Snow totals, again, a little unusual here, but probably some flakes if you look back in the western Piedmont, maybe an inch in the Greensboro area, but as you head to southern Alamance and eastern Randolph County down to Montgomery, we could get up to 2 inches, maybe a little bit more than that. But again, this is an eastern North Carolina situation. Just remember, we're cold, right? In the 20s last night and all day today, and teens tonight. So whatever does fall will stick around. So morning commute or morning driving for Saturday and possibly Sunday as well could be a little bit on the slick side.
With below freezing temperatures, if you have to be out in the elements, be mindful of slick spots. Doctors at both Novant Health and Cone Health are seeing an uptick in patients with injuries due to those slip and falls. Dr. Brenda Manfredi with Novant Health says in the last couple of days, she's seen several people that have fallen on the ice. Many have had concussions. One person had a fractured wrist. Another had back strain and a lot of bruises, cuts, and scrapes. She says to avoid falling, find a clear path to walk on and don't carry anything if possible.
You want to make sure you have the correct clothes on, so boots, ideally something with some tread on them so you don't slip as easily. And when you're walking, taking small steps instead of large steps, shuffling along, that's actually a better way to walk on ice.
Every step that people take, you should take with the assumption that this next step, I'm going down.
Dr. Thomas Theckenkamp with Cone Health says every day since the storm, his practice has seen at least 2 injuries a day, ranging from fractures to bumps and bruises to even frost nip. He recommends if you think you're about to slip and fall to try to tuck and curl and protect your head. With temperatures below freezing, his main concern, though, for this weekend is hypothermia and frostbite. He suggests wearing 3 layers of clothing. That first layer should be polyester. Second, a lighter and fluffier material, kind of like wool. And third, a moisture repellent type material. Young children and the elderly should also have an additional layer on.
The very old and very young will lose temperature more rapidly, and they have less of an ability to regulate their own temperatures.
He also recommends wearing mittens for preventing frostbite instead of gloves. Now, to see a full list of signs and symptoms of hypothermia, just go to our website, WFMYnews2.com.
Governor Roy Cooper signed a state of emergency because of the winter weather. It waived some regulations to allow for a quicker storm preparation, response, and power restoration. The state of emergency also allows the state's price gouging to start. Attorney General Josh Stein says to be on the lookout for gouging from storm and water damage repair and restoration companies. If you see anything, report it.
Sign says you need to be able to be on the lookout for overpriced COVID tests. They're becoming more popular as more people are looking for testing.
There are some places that are saying that they will accelerate the turnaround time if you give them money. And that is very worrying to me because the turnaround time should be very short anyway. And what are they doing? Are they holding off everybody else? So if that's happening to you, if you're being asked to pay money to get your results back, let my office know, because we are investigating a couple of these different testing providers to see if they violated state law.
You can file a price gouging complaint on the North Carolina Department of Justice's website, or you can call 1-877-5-NO-SCAM. We do have more information on our website.
President Biden is working to fix nationwide supply chain issues, beginning with addressing much-needed supplies of tiny microchips used to power everything from cars to dishwashers. And as Skylar Henry reports, he's getting some big help from tech giant Intel.
President Biden was joined by Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo and the CEO of Intel at the White House as he hailed the company's plan to invest $20 billion to build a semiconductor production facility in Ohio.
Folks at home might be wondering why it's such a big deal for manufacturing something so small, the size of a postage stamp. Well, semiconductors are small computer chips that power virtually everything in our lives.
The historic announcement comes amid a shortage of the microchips worldwide, slowing down production of cars, smartphones, and other household items.
Because supply is low, we find ourselves in a position that we're really behind the curve. Prices are going up.
The Biden administration is now urging Congress to pass legislation to strengthen research and development that will help alleviate bottlenecks as a result of the pandemic.
Congress needs to pass that bill.
President Biden's push to fix and improve the nation's supply chain issues comes on the heels of him marking his first full year in office. He says the bipartisan infrastructure law and his Build Back Better plan will help produce a more productive economy. After months of setbacks, the president says he's now looking at ways to break up his signature $2 trillion plan into smaller chunks that might have a better chance of passage.
We're going to get as much, a big mountain-sized chunk, whatever you want to call it, as much as we can of the Build Back Better agenda that we can get 50 votes for.
The White House has not given a new targeted price tag for the spending bill or indicated what exactly it would include. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden also says the U.S. is looking into finding where raw materials to produce semiconductor chips might be nationwide if we have access to them. Well, even the Girl Scout cookies can't escape supply chain problems. A labor disruption temporarily caused a shortage of Adventurefuls. That's the newest cookie from the Girl Scouts. At first, sales of the sweet treat were going to be capped, but the Girl Scouts found more bakers to meet the demand for the brownie-inspired cookie. Thank goodness, because those cookies
now we should have led the newscast with this. Now I know.
Breaking news. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and we tried it here on the show. That is
so
now
good.
probably in my top three.
Yep.
So
good.
Amazing.
I mean, these supply chain issues, from grocery stores to Girl Scout cookies, it's just everywhere. I'm just ready to get over this.
No one can escape it.
No.
Not at all. It's like you got to order things like 20 months in advance.
It's true.
It's a lot.
So we're getting a new refrigerator. We've been going through this horrible thing. The refrigerator dies, and now our washing machine goes. So we've got to buy this stuff, and the fridge, it was like a month and a half to wait for this thing. So we still, ours is still chugging along barely, but you got to wait.
Fingers crossed this gets fixed soon, guys.
Really. I agree.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Ahead of the 49th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, demonstrators are descending upon Washington for their annual March for Life. Anti-abortion rights advocates are hoping to overturn the landmark case legalizing abortion. The conservative majority Supreme Court must still rule on the case heard in December regarding Mississippi's law banning abortion after 15 weeks. A warning for certain infant loungers. The Consumer Product Safety Commission wants families to stop using some products by Leach Co. The warning follows the deaths of 2 young babies. The agency says the Podster, Podster Plush, Bumsy, and the Podster Playtime can possibly lead to suffocation. In a statement, the company says its products are safe when used as directed. Another recall you need to know about: more than 300,000 pacifiers are being recalled because parts can break off, posing a choking hazard for babies and infants. The recalled Frigg silicone pacifiers came in classics and daisy designs. We have the pictures right there. The products were manufactured in Denmark and sold at several retailers nationwide, including TJ Maxx and Amazon. If you have them, stop using them. Contact the company for a refund.
Comedian and actor Louis Anderson died today in Las Vegas of complications from cancer. Anderson's early jobs included counseling troubled children. He changed course after winning a 1981 Midwest comedy competition. He was a staple on TV, including as host of a revival of the game show Family Feud in the late 90s and on comedy specials and in frequent late-night talk show appearances. Anderson won a 2016 Emmy for Best Supporting Actor playing a mom to twin adult sons in the TV series Baskets. He was 68 years old.
The music world is also mourning the loss of one of rock and roll's unique performers, Meat Loaf. The singer's family says he died last night at age 74, surrounded by friends and loved ones. In 1977, he released Bat Out of Hell, which would become one of the top-selling albums in history, with over 40 million copies sold. And in the 90s, he had another chart-topping hit, I Do Anything for Love. It spent 5 weeks at #1, earning him his only Grammy nomination and win. And it wasn't just music he succeeded in. He acted in more than 100 shows and movies, including memorable turns in Wayne's World and Fight Club. But probably one of the most scenes that he's remembered for is Stilling performance in the 1974's cult classic, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Getting a little tongue-tied there.
Super popular. He was really popular. I love 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. That's probably my favorite, in Paradise by the Dashboard Light, 2 of his more popular songs. Do you know, I had totally forgotten about I'd Do Anything for Love until I read the article on him today.
Same. I went on YouTube and was Googling some of his music, and I was like, oh, I know this song. You hear it in a lot of like movies and commercials and things like that. That's a really iconic tune there.
Yeah, I had to Google though where Meat Loaf came from, because like what a strange name to be called by. And there were several stories out there that he had given different magazines and on TV appearances and everything. But it seems like people just kind of called him Meat because he was, I guess, a huskier guy and had always been kind of husky. And I guess he was kind of red as a kid, like in the face. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. I never heard
So
that.
he kind of got the name. That's from what I read, at least.
Always interesting to hear how people get certain nicknames. But just within the last few weeks, we've lost a lot of greats.
We sure have. Louis Anderson, I remember the most from Coming to America outside of his stand-up. He was one of the workers in McDowell's, the McDonald's ripoff franchise in Coming to America.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace to them, and we'll be right back after this break.
There's one vegetable that can bring most people to tears, but growers are trying to change that. Tearless onions are hitting supermarket shelves in the U.S. It's not just that the no tears that are different, they taste milder too, but their high price might make everyone else's eyes water as well.
Paying 3 times the cost of an onion just to kind of get rid of the tears, absolutely no way is that worth it to me.
You can suffer through the tears.
I can suffer through the tears. Sometimes it's nice even.
Growers say the onions were not genetically modified to make them tearless, but rather carefully crossbred over about 30 years.
3 times the price. Yeah, I can just suffer through it as well.
Yeah.
So it bothers my wife so much that I have to cut the onions for her, but it bothers me too. Like, it really hurts me. So I'm thinking, I still don't think I'd pay $3 more.
Yeah.
What did it say? Twice the price? Is that what it said?
I think it said 3 times
2 or
the
3
price.
times.
2 or 3
I just
times
read
the
it and I
price.
already forgot.
Plus, I want the flavor there.
Yeah, it said a milder taste.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
And I like sauteed onions to put on like my steak, my burger, and things like that.
I will say I would try it. I think I would try it.
I'd try it.
You know,
absolutely,
just
I would
to see
try
if it works, and then, but like, I'm not dying to like have that, you know?
Yeah, times are rough these days. I'm gonna save my coin.
You just cut back like this.
Yeah,
when
just
you
cut
cut 'em,
back,
just
put
lean
some
back.
some blindfolds on
That's
or
right.
something, you'll be okay.
Exactly right. All right, so everybody has that one character in a movie or TV show that you loved, and sometimes in the show, they pass away. You never forget that scene. This sent me in a tailspin today. So I asked you on Facebook what fictional character's death affected you the most. Bobby said 2 words, Old Yeller. Disney movie. I cannot watch that after my first time seeing that. Trish said Tony Stark in Endgame, Avengers. Yeah, that was a sad one too. Nikki said Mufasa in The Lion King. That got everybody. That's a tough one. Alex says John Coffey in The Green Mile. Great movie there. Kevin is going back to the MASH days on CBS. So Colonel Henry Blake was a character in MASH, for those of you who don't remember. So that was a sad one too. Dwayne goes Star Wars on us here and said Han Solo. So what happened is our producer Callie and I she was talking with me about it. She goes, yeah, let's do a social commentary on this. And so we put it up there. But then that made me start looking up all these old scenes from movies. So I'm sitting at my desk
Just
tearing
like,
up for like
sad.
40
That's
minutes.
why you were crying.
Yeah,
I was like,
oh my God,
there?
Terms of Endearment, Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List. There's so many.
What are your favorites or most memorable moments and scenes?
Well, I think the most memorable was just the entire Harry Potter collection when I was reading the books, because when I watched the movies, I already knew it was coming, so I was kind of preparing myself. But when I was reading the books, when Dumbledore passed away, or when he was killed, when Sirius was killed, and then you found out the story of Snape and when he was killed, I just get emotional thinking about it.
It's amazing that a book can have that power over you.
Yeah, I mean, books are more vivid than movies
They
a lot
are,
of times, and you're just thinking these things what are ahead. I think we don't have that much time left, but we do. So do you ever remember the movie Hardball? About the boys that got to go to the championship, and at the end, G-Baby gets struck by a stray bullet. That was so sad.
Yes.
And I remember my dad even was tearing up when we saw that movie. That movie was really sad at the end.
That was listed in my list
Oh, it was?
yes,
yeah, that was the
listed
first
in
thing
there.
that came to my mind. I was like, I would think I was like in 4th grade when that came out.
You guys, somebody go home right now and watch Steel Magnolia. And
that's another good one.
Shelby.
Oh, can't talk about it. Let's
Sad.
take a break. Gather yourself. Back.
The British royal family is back in the spotlight again, this time with a new documentary out of the Sundance Film Festival, The Princess. Using archival footage, the film focuses on Princess Diana's tumultuous relationship with the crown and the current country she serves. WFNY News 2's photojournalist Manning Frank shares his thoughts.
The profound impact of Princess Diana is a cultural touchstone. No doubt you've watched, read, or heard her story told countless times before, and yet, by telling Diana's story through the creative mixture of archival, video, and audio, The Princess provides a definitive and revelatory perspective on the vibrant life and ultimately tragic death of the people's princess. Aided by meticulous editing, an ethereal score, and a clear singular vision, this documentary surprised me with its narrative heft at the core of the film. We chronologically make our way from doomed marriage to untimely death, and all the while we are given this both intimate and broadened perspective of a complex woman and her relationships with her husband, the press, the monarchy, and most importantly, the people. The Princess, in its carefully crafted yet straightforward simplicity, makes the case as the definitive recounting of Princess Diana and her impact on the world, through the lens of the past, but with our eyes of the present. A great start to this year's Sundance. It will be available to rent on Sundance's website for 24 hours starting Saturday the 22nd at 10 a.m. Eastern.
And that might be the day to do that, since we'll see some of this as we head into the overnight. Not a major event for us. Again, we've said this before, but it is more of a down east situation. This configuration, the way you see the line of where we get relatively no snow at all to the western Triad, and then to the east we see a little bit of snow, and we're thinking this is kind of the way it'll all shape up, right? So there's a chance that some folks in our mountain and foothill communities may see nothing or just a few flakes here or there, but from about Greensboro and High Point east and south, you have a greater chance of seeing the snow showers. This does run starting probably within the next hour. We're already seeing some snow showers in the Sanford and Troy area. It'll run overnight, and then by 3 to 4 a.m. it'll start tapering off. So your Saturday, we won't see any snow, but it sure will be cold enough. These overnight lows, can we talk about teens for overnight lows? That's tonight and tomorrow night. So whatever does fall will be sticking around a little bit. Even with some sunshine, some of this will still hang out. Now, snow totals, though, when you look at this, not all that impressive for our area. It's kind of like snowflakes to maybe an inch when you get to this blue line here. So Guilford County, half an inch to an inch, unless you go eastern parts of Guilford County, could get up to an inch there, and maybe 1 to 2 for the southern parts of Alamance County, southeastern Randolph, and Montgomery County. So let's look at our 7-day forecast for you here. Yeah, it's cold, folks. 35 tomorrow, but 17 for the low, 18 for the low Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're back to the low to mid 40s with some cold rain on Tuesday, and colder again by Thursday of next week with a high of 38.
Coming up next, we show you why scraping the ice off your car could save your life.
Snow? Wow. Piedmont snow again. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
For poetry?
Oh yeah? Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, checky, check for your reckety wreck.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check.
I'm here. Hello, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia.
Maybe there is.
All right, here it comes.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm talking about family traditions. You know, when we have inclement weather and everybody kind of nests and stays at home with the family, it made me think about a tradition that we are just now starting with our family. So recently we had the discussion, why don't we do something for each other, make it fun? So we came up with family coupon ideas. So you can see pictures here of Tyler and Drew. They're writing theirs out. So my wife Leslie and I and Tyler and Drew, the twins, are in college. So we did coupons for each other. So each of us writes 1 coupon for the other 3, anything they want to give them, whether it's time together or time alone or a night out, anything we think would be fun for the other people. And then we put them in a bowl, and tonight is the night that we're going to draw these out and take our coupons, read them out loud, and then you have 2 weeks to cash them in at some point in those 2 weeks. It sounds simple, and I thought it would just be kind of fun. I brought it up about a week ago, but Tyler and Drew absolutely love this. I mean, here I have an almost 12, almost 9-year-old, and they're so excited about it. They kept bringing it up over the past week, and it made me realize as a parent, little things can be big things, and they don't have to cost, in this case, any money. All of our little coupons are just things to do together. So think about that this weekend. Maybe start that tradition with your kids. I look forward to it already and can't wait to see their little faces when they look at those coupons. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We begin with breaking news out of Guilford County. GCS's partnership with City Transit Services will be continuing for 8 high schools.
Yes, the district says right now they just don't have enough drivers available for school buses. Officials say they're down 1/3 of their staff to illnesses, leaves of absences, and